If you are like me, then you have often found yourself laying in bed at night thinking really big thoughts to the point that you can't fall asleep, or perhaps they've even woken you up in the middle of the night. You know, the ones where you suddenly remember all the stuff that you need to do, or you create the things that you need to do, or the ones that sneak in and say, you need to make a decision. You must decide right now at 3 a.m. what you're going to do about this very situation. And it doesn't even have to be at night or in the early mornings. It can really be any time when you're often isolated and your brain starts requiring action and says, okay, it's time, get moving. And we often don't realize that they are actually very negative and they are doing us no good. My name is Leigh Gall, and I am a speaker and a coach dedicated to helping individuals rewire their thinking to identify the roadblocks that are getting in the way of what they want. I speak to organizations and individuals and help people turn inner battles into breakthroughs. And today, I'm going to help you identify where negative thoughts are actually disguising themselves as productive ones and help you understand why they're there and how to let them go. Let me tell you about a time recently where it's the exact situation I just described. It's early in the morning and I am sound asleep, and suddenly, out of nowhere, this idea floats into my mind. You must sign a contract. This other idea floats in my mind. You must call this person back. And then I'm laying there and I realize, oh crap, I'm awake now. It's official. I'm awake. And I pick up my phone and I look at it and it's 4:14. Okay, 4:14, there you are. I'm not ready to get out of bed yet. I'm going to lay here and I'm going to see where this goes. And the little to-do list items are still there. And then all of a sudden, my brain goes, hey, Leigh, it's 4:14. It's time to make that decision that we've been pondering. It's go time. There's no better time than 4:14. I'm like, yeah, you're right, brain. Let's do this. Let's make this decision. And I just happen to be in a place with my business where, like many of us, we have to pick a path. We go with A, B, or C, or, all the way to Z, because there's so many. And I just hadn't really locked in on anything, and it was going down. This was the time. But it's not just business decisions. There's so many things that we all have to contemplate. There's relationships. Do you stay? Do you go? What do you do? And which school should my kids go to? Just the whole thing. And this was it. This was a big moment, y'all. This 4 a.m. It was going to be magical. And I'm laying there and I'm thinking, and all of a sudden I'm like really trying to decide. And then it kind of goes, well, what have other people done? And oh yeah, the other people, they've decided and they've done this stuff. And, and then I was kind of thinking about the comparisons that we all do. I was like, ugh, I don't really like the way this feels. And it was in that moment that I had my 4 a.m. epiphany. And I realized that all of these productive thoughts, all my big official business meeting that I was having with myself early in the morning was actually just a bunch of negative thoughts disguised as positive ones. I had opened the door to my mind and said, hey guys, come on in. Let's do this. Let's make some stuff happen right now. And all they did was trash the place. They came in well-dressed, well-intentioned, and just raided the fridge, pulled everything off the walls. And how often do we do that? We think that we are having productive thoughts. We think that this time is well spent and going to create action, only to find out that we are actually in a more negative place, and in a place that almost creates like a paralysis and does not allow for action and decision, because we've found ourselves in this like rumination cycle, and they're trashing the place, and yet we've let them in. And I must say that these thoughts are genuinely well-intentioned at first. They are there in us innately to create action and create change and be the mechanism by which we move and go be productive and go accomplish those big things. And some people have louder voices than others, just depending on their upbringing. But yet, when they are there for too long or they're too loud, they can be counterintuitive and can actually be negative, because then you aren't in a place where you can actually decide, because they are only feeding you this indecisiveness. They're pointing it out. Yay, thank you for that. Thank you so much for pointing out that I need to make a decision. But bro, like, I'm good now. I got it. You can lay off. And instead they keep saying, hey, no, you suck at this. You need to decide. You need to change. You need whatever that thing is. And then they create a paralysis. And I kind of think about it as like frozen yogurt. And there was a time when frozen yogurt was really popular, and I loved that time because I really do love frozen yogurt. But there was kind of this attitude that, you know, people are like, well, I'm not eating ice cream. I'm eating frozen yogurt, so I'm good. Well, you know, anything in too much of a quantity can still be bad for you. You can still eat enough frozen yogurt that it can be, you know, damaging to your health. And that is these thoughts. That is the, like, in small doses, yes, create change, provoke new ideas, and give me direction and give me that nice little push that I need to get off the starting line. Love you for that. But when you hang around and you just continue to tap me on my shoulder and nag me, then we're going to have a problem. And that is what we so often do. We let these thoughts hang out and become negative ones, and often don't allow us to have the space that we need, because as humans, we run towards pleasure and we run away from pain. That's it. That's how this whole thing works. So when we make decisions, we are making them either to go towards pleasure, like I'm actively choosing that, or just simply, oh, I don't want to die. I want to survive. I don't want to break my leg. I don't want to fall off a boat and potentially die. Like, there's a lot of actions that we make just to avoid pain or death. And so often, if we are in a hyper state, then we just can't make that decision. It's not just decision making. There are other things that have disguised themselves as productive. And that is perfectionism, when we just can't let something be because we have to keep making it perfect. When we let control creep in, which can often be a burden for other people, but then yourself too. You're actually putting yourself into a place that you can't allow things to exist unless you are somehow controlling them. There are so many examples of this, and I'm going to create a series devoted to these negative thoughts that are disguised as productive ones. I will review some of the most common ones that, you know, yourself or people that you love or work with might have in their life, but then also dig into why they aren't always productive and how they can be doing more harm than good. And then ultimately, how do you let them go? How can you overcome some of these obstacles or, you know, reoccurring thoughts that might be getting in your way from doing that thing that you want. So I encourage you guys to watch this series and go on this journey with me. Again, my name is Leigh Gall. I am a speaker and a coach. I help individuals and organizations turn their inner battles into breakthroughs. If you guys would like more information, please go to leighgall.com. You guys can contact me, book an appointment through the website, but definitely hit subscribe to my channel and like this video, and that will ensure that you guys get to see all of the future videos and we can do this together. So I appreciate you guys watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.